Hello and welcome to part 2 on how to make a PVC pipe violin. Alright, to bend these pieces to the correct shape, I'm going to use this toaster oven. So I turn the temperature to about there, and then turn the timer up as far as it'll go. First thing I'm going to do is make the chin rest, because it's the hardest piece to make. I'm just going to stick it down here right above the burner until it gets soft enough to bend. As you can see, it's starting to take the natural curve of the pipe, so I'm going to keep heating it. And then once it's warm, I'm going to take it out and bend it like this. Bend these tabs over, and just hold them in place like this. And just bend it until it looks like this. Now to make the tailpiece, this one's a lot easier. Just put it above the burner until you can get a nice arc shape in it. It just follows the natural curve of the pipe, so you have to be very careful with this one. It'll bend really quickly. And then I just take it out and bend it to the desirable shape. Now to bend the fingerboard, you just stick it in there on some cardboard like that, and it should follow the natural curve of the pipe as it bends. This is actually a dangerous one. I would suggest that you don't try this at home unless you know what you're doing. It will take a while for this to heat up. Unfortunately, it's not going to cooperate today, so we're going to have to bend it this way. I'm just going to hold it in there until it gets soft enough to bend. Once it gets soft enough to bend, I'm going to take it over here and lay it on this piece of pipe. That's a little bit too steep. One thing I forgot was the nut at the end. We'll bend that right now. And then once it's soft, I take it over here, stick it onto the board about 1/4 inch, just bend it up. Hold it there until it cools off. And that should be all the bending I have to do with the toaster oven. Now I gotta shut it off. The next thing we need to do is start assembling the violin. I'm going to use a little bit of traditional methods for this. For the body, I just added a T to the neck piece. Then I just added 2 lengths of pipe to the T and then put caps on them. You can bend these pieces of pipe or do whatever you want with them. I'm just using this for an example in this video. The first thing I'm going to do is put the finishing touches on the chin rest. The first thing I'm going to do is remove all the sharp edges with this file. Now this part takes a lot of time. Now that the chin rest is done, I'm going to show you how to make the fingerboard. First thing you want to do is remove all the sharp edges. Once the edges are done, you want to shape the nut. So we just take this marker and trace it on here like this. Go right about there. I'm a little bit shaky. You just cut it and grind it smooth with the file. Now the next thing you want to do is get the fingerboard to fit flush on here like this. And that may mean that you have to grind this a little bit right here. Once it fits on there nicely, then it's time to glue it. And then you want to take some purple primer and stick it on it in the appropriate areas like this. Put a little bit of primer on here just where the fingerboard is going to touch it. You want to be careful so that none of this is visible when the instrument is finished. And then you take the fingerboard and glue it on. Get a little bit of glue on there. Put some glue on here. You want to put just enough to coat it on here for now. And we take it and stick it on in the right place. Make sure it's lined up. Because if it's not lined up when it's dried, it's ruined. And just hold it there for a few minutes. Once the glue has taken hold, then you want to take a couple little cheap paint brushes. Take some glue and get a whole bunch of glue down in there. Get that off of there. And you just want to get a whole bunch of glue down in here. So that way it really sticks good and there's no way it can ever come apart. As you can see, that is much higher than where the bridge is going to go. I did that on purpose because what's going to happen is the strings are going to pull this and it's going to bend and this is going to come down. So when the strings are at the correct tension, this will be pulled down to the correct level. And that's what makes this so challenging. You gotta get it just right. Well, thanks for watching. This concludes part 2. Please subscribe and stay tuned for part 3. In part 3, I'll show you how to put the end pin in, how to put the tuning pegs in, and how to put all this stuff on and finish the instrument completely.